The reverse unboxing idea actually starts with what goes into the box, the actual product development, and it finishes up with the actual product packaging, the R1 recording studio headphones. You might be familiar with OLLO Audio, and you know that we've been making headphones for basically a decade. And even in the past, we had a closed-back version, a recording version of the headphone. It was called S4R, this one over here. And at the time, we focused on making that headphone as neutral as possible, so acoustically flat. In order to achieve that acoustically, we had to sacrifice a lot of the dynamics and the engaging stuff that comes from a headphone. So the feedback from customers, endorsers, and ambassadors, it was basically always the same. Like, they sound great in terms of neutrality, but they are not engaging. So when you're recording, when you're trying to really perform, it's really difficult to enjoy the sound because it's just too flat. So we've developed the new edition, the R1, the latest model from OLLO Audio, where we focused primarily on isolation, so the sound coming into the headphone and escaping the headphone, and also keeping the engagement going, meaning we've left a lot of the low end and high end in the headphone, and the dynamics, so the punch bass, the kick drum really kicks you. So all of that creates an engaging monitoring situation, so that when you're playing, you might not hear the sound as neutral as with the previous model or with the X1, which are designed to be neutral. But you rather enjoy playing, enjoy recording, enjoying the music that you're making. And that creates the perfect take. Recording headphones, by definition, require strong isolation. Now, what does that mean? It means they need to isolate the sound to make sure that the click, for example, or the fallback track does not escape the headphone too easily and enter the microphone. So when you are recording vocalists, for example, or acoustic guitars, you will have a microphone that will be fairly close to the headphone. So even if there's just a slight bleed from the headphone, it will be picked up by the microphone. And you know, in modern music production, everything is being compressed these days, meaning that throughout the stages of mixing and mastering, the click bleed, that maybe it was not even, you know, very strong at the beginning, at the end, it will become a part of the final production fairly easily, and that's of course not ideal. So isolating click bleed is probably #1 job for a recording headphone, but at the same time they also need to isolate the outside noise, the ambient noise. So for example, when you have like a guitar and have an amp there, you're blasting it out in the room, and that sound should not enter, at least not easily, the actual headphones, because when that happens, the masking effect starts to kick in. So the sound from the outside is masking the actual monitoring, the foldback that you have in your headphones. So in order to hear yourself and in order to hear the pilot track, you have to raise the volume, meaning the headphones, they must be capable of producing 95, 100 dB SPL, but that is of course not great for your ears. So the isolation out of the headphone and inside are probably, you know, #1 job or feature of a recording headphone. Now, if you can, try to use headphones for the following demo. 1. Test 1. Test 1. Test 1. If you ever owned a studio, you know there will be idiots visiting your studio that are disrespectful to you or to your gear. And well, for these kind of people, we've made sure that the headphones are made out of real wood. So it's like very sturdy, very durable, stainless steel, and that all the parts are home serviceable. So basically all you need is a Phillips screwdriver, an Allen key, and very basic skills of disassembling and putting it together. So here it comes, a little short clip on how to, for example, replace the speaker. It's time to finish this video with the actual unboxing that you've been patiently waiting for. But before we do that, let's hear from some of our ambassadors.
This model, the R1, I just listened like a couple songs and I just say, that's it. I just want to share my feedback right away with you, how I feel. And guys, that just sounds incredible. The details and the sound and the presence of the sound inside the space location of every single instrument or effects element is just insane. And I love the cover and the size, so the sound is no bleeding anymore outside. So when I'm recording, it's perfect for me.
Hi, my name is Scott Chambers, and I'm a professional voice actor. You probably don't know my name. You definitely don't know my face, but you might have heard my voice from time to time as the voice of a global brand, maybe doing television promos or radio imaging. But now, she's playing your living room. You're with Katie on KISS.
Want to go? Keep listening.
I wear the R1 recording headphones for one reason. These things just deliver. Every time I put them on, every time I come in the studio. In my line of work, time is money. And if I'm getting bleed through into the microphone, you got to stop, got to start over. And that's kind of why I can't put them down. I mean, they just simply work. Like I said, no bleed through. The bass is clear. Highs are very crisp. It's exactly what I'm hearing in my ear is what goes in on the track. That's what you want from headphones. And that's exactly what the R1 recording headphones deliver.